All right, before we leave Lansing, we can't leave the Lansing beat without talking about the Todd Corser, Cindy Gamrat situation, because since we've seen each other, we've heard from her. She came out and she apologized for her own personal indiscretions. She has been, both of them actually have been in Lansing and sitting in the House. But the House took a voice vote on Wednesday night to essentially create a committee to look into their alleged misconduct, which could bring them somewhere down the road to eventually their removal. Todd Corser can't stay off social media. This is a guy who cannot,
something wrong with that guy.
Cannot keep his mouth shut. And I have to quote, he did say, quote, "If you call effective standing and voting, as I said I would vote in my campaign, and amassing one of the best conservative voting records in recent memory, then in my record of liberty votes and sponsored legislation stands on his own merits," meaning he's still done his job. So you can be mad about what he did in his personal life, but that he's still really doing his job.
His personal life has nothing to do with this. Yeah. Did he misuse the resources of his office? And if you look at, if you go to debtnews.com, we have Gamrat's statement and the tape recordings that we got that were made by the aides. And I mean, she lied about everything. Point by point by point, what she said in that press conference wasn't true. And the aides are now all standing up and saying, we were told to do this, you know, we were pressured to do this, we were fired because we didn't do this. I don't see where her defense comes from, where their defense comes from.
Has this turned into so much of a distracting sideshow that things can't get done, or do you think that people can just kind of put this aside?
I mean, you know, it's an interesting question. I do wonder how much the leadership might be distracted by the idea that, look, you've got to do something about this. Certainly, you want to quiet them down and get them off television and social media so that the attention in Lansing is not on them, but is on some of the issues. But you know, there's a process they got to follow. The decent thing for these two to do would be to go away, resign, and go do something else. But short of that, I'm not sure what Kevin Cotter can do other than what he's doing, which is to, you know, launch an investigation and see where it leads.
But it is a distraction. I mean, at a critical time when they should have been trying to rally votes for a deal, they were dealing with this ridiculous situation, and Corser apparently has a Christ complex. I mean, he's talking about, I'm not going to resign, I'm going to be crucified. Yeah. You know, he's the author of his own misery here, and I agree with Steve. They should do the decent thing and get out.
Apparently, it was reported that as he was driving to work on Tuesday or Wednesday, he decided to play "Eye of the Tiger" as his theme song. And again, it's probably a PR 101 for him to now to stop talking and to see where this all leads.
I can't believe his wife hasn't shut him up.
Well, I mean, hey, you don't know what goes on. You don't know what goes on in anybody's house.
Or any PR consultant would tell him at this point, you are not helping yourself by continuously talking about this and talking about it in messianic terms that make you seem nuts. He's not doing himself any favors.
No, I don't think he would listen to any consultant. I think.
All right. Well.